8,
9.
10.
Yezzo!
Hey, girl, hey. Hi,
Hi.
everybody. How's
Hi.
everything?
I've been better.
Mm.
I think you can tell that. You and I haven't even been talking. I've been hiding. But I've been better. But I will be better.
This
I've
too
been
shall
better, which
pass.
means I will be better.
This too shall pass.
Maybe.
Hallelujah.
How you doing, Sheila?
I'm fine. I was in Brooklyn yesterday. Went to New York. I went to the Giants exhibit, the Brooklyn Museum, from the collection of the deans. Swiss Beats Kaseem. I did not know he had such a black ass Muslim name. Kaseem. I love that name. There's some Muslim names. Anyway, we've talked about this,
Here
but
you
I just
go.
love a strong them shits bang.
Is
Them
it
shits
is
knock.
Kaseem as strong as Mufasa or Mustafa?
Kaseem a slick nigga though. You know?
Oh.
Like somebody named Kaseem. Who what else? Nasir. That's a certain type of Philly man. And Mustafa is somebody you don't want to mess with, you know? He either has a lot of integrity or he will fuck you up. Like he in jail type, like he'll fuck you up, Mustafa. Kaseem slick, he get away with stuff, you know? Anyway,
Thanks for that
just
breakdown.
so you know.
I was looking for it's not Shanti
What did we
facts, but
name
what
what
is
did we
it?
name isn't your bike name Mustafa?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a big brolic, sturdy nigga. I don't know many light skinned Mustafas either. Like it just doesn't work.
Oh, here you go. So
Speaking of
light
light
skinned men
skin,
can't be big, brolic, or sturdy.
I said I
You got
don't
a
know
thing,
many.
yo.
I said I don't know many light skinned men named Mustafa.
Yeah,
I really
okay.
don't.
Heard
I
you.
really, really don't. But shout out to Kaseem Dean and Alicia Keys, that light skinned couple coming through with the come through. It was a cool exhibit. It was cool. It was interesting. The selection of them made it a very interesting exhibit. I don't know how to say it because it wasn't like one artist, you know, it wasn't like this cohesive thing, but I was Kahende Wiley has a
That's their piece,
gargantuan.
right?
Oh my god.
They own it, I think.
It is, yeah, they own every single piece in there.
Yeah.
They owned
That's where they
everything.
hide all their money.
It's breathtaking. I wish they had put a bench in front of it and you
To
just
just sit
sat
and
there. I
take it
could have
in.
sat there. I wish I had sat with a lot of the pieces a lot longer. But it was gorgeous, breathtakingly gorgeous.
I have to
And
go.
it was really interesting what was most interesting to me was seeing what their tastes are. You know what I mean? Like people that, like, it's like looking at somebody's wardrobe or looking at somebody's music selection. You know, you get to a little glimpse into who these people are. And it was interesting. I recommend everybody go. I would go again. I would take Jolie. I would like to take Jolie. So it was really nice. And I met up with an Around the Way Curls listener. I won't mention them because I don't know. I guess the consent is important, but it was really nice making friends. It was cool. It was a beautiful day in New York.
Is it who
And
I
I'm
know
very, uh huh.
from before? I love her.
I'm really proud of myself because I'm really learning how to navigate New York, and I did a lot of walking. And I was like, okay, if I go here, then I turn here. I know this. Okay, I remember where the subway was. So I definitely want to do a lot more of that. And it was a really good day. It's a lovely, lovely day in New York City. That's it. Short and sweet.
Um, I unfortunately was not there. I wasn't even able to see you because I have been in Hell Week with my job. We're launching something, so it's been insanity. Um, I also am high, but not
Oh,
the kind of high that I enjoy.
hmm.
I am high off of opioids.
Okay.
I believe that this is an opioid. I have opioids for muscle relaxants. Is that an opioid?
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Downer. Yeah.
When I tell you, so I was doing something. I don't know what I was doing. It was something real easy. And I was like trying to stretch my back and I felt this tweak. And it was in between my, what is that? My shoulder blade and my spine, like right in
Mm,
there. But it wasn't like a knot. It's like a sharp pain that
mm,
hurts. It's like, feels like needles, that type
mm-mm.
of pain. And so I tried to, just grit through it and bear it. And then I couldn't. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take some ibuprofen. Took the ibuprofen. That ain't do nothing. Today, woke up and was really struggling. Laid on a heating pad on my bed with my laptop. My feet were up, propped up on pillows. So I'm laying down, the laptop's up, and I'm typing like this to try to work. And I said, this is just ridiculous. So I got up and I have muscle relaxants because ever since I hit a deer years ago, I've had these back and muscle spasms, like these muscle spasms in my back and these back issues. I never take these almost ever. I mean, my doctor probably refills this once every year and a half. And the only reason why I even started to get the prescription was because I had a spasm so bad I had to go to the hospital and like couldn't move, couldn't function. So I took one today and there's a big pill and there's a small pill. Apparently, the small pill is the relaxant, the big pill is a painkiller. I have been high all day.
What
Fell
time you
asleep
take
on a
it?
call. I took it at
Whoa.
10 a.m. It is now 9 p.m. Fell
Dang.
asleep on a call, Shanti. Like, I didn't think I would be able to record today because it was knocking me out. Woke up and everybody was off the call. My dumb ass is still on the call for 15 whole minutes. And I just hurried up and hung up. Like, oh my God. And it's no way people don't see that. Like, why she hang up? This bitch not on the call. I don't know what she doing. So I'm high. Something's wrong. I've been high. There's an opioid crisis, and I understand why. I don't like this high, so I'm not
Mm,
at risk of
mm.
getting hooked. This is weird, but anything could happen on this episode. I could possibly fall asleep on you right now. I don't know, but I
Well, we
showed
just
up.
gonna be in flow. Yep, we're gonna be
That's
in
it.
flow.
I showed up. And
That's
I
all
would
we
like
can
to
do.
apologize to Monty in advance because the amount of clips that I'm going to rely on for these next two episodes, the way you are going to be putting clips, inserting clips here and there and everywhere, Monty, because I can't trust myself to convey jack shit right now. So we going to be
It
playing the
might be
clips.
fluid. You might be get direct downloads. Might be
See?
open.
Um, I have something else to say that I wasn't home this weekend. I was celebrating the birthday of a loved one. And I was like, they were out. And I said, you know what? We had leftover. Oh my God. Okay, wait. I just remember we had leftover food from Tatiana at Lincoln Center here in New York. Tatiana is one of the hottest restaurants. Shout out to Chef Kwame. He is so young. We walked in. I thought he was I didn't know who he was because he was standing at the door like, hello, good evening. I thought he was a host.
He was
This
like, "Who
is
this
the
buster ass
chef.
young boy?"
No, but that was I was love the fact that he was standing there greeting his clientele.
Oh no, that's motherfucking right.
And so I've never had food that good. There was a fish there. You think the place that I take you, I'm not going to say it here because everybody and their mom is going there because of Mandy. This fish was light years ahead of that. When
Mm.
I say light years ahead, I mean light years ahead.
Mm.
The person that I went with they haven't eaten red meat in about 11, 12 years. Bro had oxtail. He had lamb, goat. He was getting it down.
I know that was
But
right.
this food was so good. It's so expensive. My God, it's so expensive. I was like, woo, not us coming here for your birthday. Okay. But he tried to pay for his birthday. I was like, yo, I'm about to curse you out. That is so upsetting. But it was Shanti, everybody. It's really
You were
hard to get.
singing the praises.
It's really hard to get a reservation. Apparently, they open reservations like Beyonce tickets, and you got to be online and get them then. Like, that's how they do it. So, if y'all can go, please go. If you could treat yourself once, that is the treat. Get the fish. But I say all that to say we got hella food. We had mad leftover food. Come, this person leaves to do whatever they got to do. And I'm like, oh, it's their actual birthday today. I want to make sure the meal is nice. But we have this leftover food. So I'm going to use that, but add some stuff to it because he's been eating off of it all weekend. So I'm like getting plantains, getting mac and cheese, I'm getting green, like all kinds of stuff to like put around these oxtails, this chicken, this rice and peas, all this stuff. Girl, I do that on Instacart because I'm working. Where does the Instacart go? To my house. I'm not home. So all of the food plus the Uber Eats food that I ordered goes to my house.
Oh my
So I'm
God.
like, yo, that is so corny. Hundred some dollars worth of shit. I can't even get to it. So I hit my super up. This is where I need people to let me know if I'm wrong. I hit my super up and was like, yo, yeah, can you go upstairs? There's some food up there. Can you put it up for me? I I I'm not home. I won't be able to be home. And there's a little bit of a language barrier, I'll be honest. So I was trying to explain it to him. So I'm not home. Just take it, put it up for me, and you're welcome to have some. So today he came and brought me my stuff. Now, mind you, I had bought a case of Poppy as well, you know, the prebiotic drink that I drink. He brought back my stuff, and the only thing that was there was the Poppy and asparagus. Everything else was gone. And I was like, oh, thank you. And I did not have the heart to ask, where are the plantains? Where's the mac and cheese?
He ate all of your food.
He took all of it.
How many days ago was this?
It was, what's today? That happened Monday. So he
Oh,
just been eating off of it.
yeah.
Is that right? I
Yes, because
feel
girl, if you wanted that food, you would have came the same. Like if I probably wouldn't have
no,
ate
I
it, but like,
asked for I've been home. I asked for it yesterday. I was home
but
yesterday.
even Wednesday is Monday food like hot,
Girl,
like
it was delivered Monday evening. I
yeah.
asked for it. What I had to ask for it Tuesday eating?
I would
I don't know.
figure like this person wants this food, they would have got like a day and a half goes by. I'm like, oh, they don't want this food.
No, but I said you. But I said to him, help yourself to some of it.
Y él
I
dice,
didn't
no
think that he was
entiendo,
going to eat
no
all of
entiendo, no
it,
tengo hambre, yo tengo mucho
and
hambre, no
some of it,
entiendo.
some of it
Tu
wasn't
comida
cooked.
es mi comida.
Wait, excuse
Ahorita,
me. Some of it wasn't cooked, Shati. Some of it was like I needed
you
to
say
prepare
your
it.
food is my food,
He took my
okay?
groceries
Mi
though.
casa es su casa. Su
I
casa
could
es
see
mi
him
casa.
eating the prepared food that was came at Uber Eats, but he took the groceries, and the fact that he sent back the
Why didn't you
asparagus
ask him? Where'd you?
because he deliberately did not eat the vegetable. He
That's
only ate.
wild.
He only took the groceries that he wanted.
Let me tell you something though. Your
That's
place is
not weird.
always well decorated. I come down there, they wiping down all of the windows. That super works hard.
Whatever, girl.
He
I got a
said,
white refrigerator.
"Su comida is mi comida."
I don't know what you
Your
just said.
food
I'm
is
just
my
laughing.
food. You know, mi
Okay.
casa es su casa.
See, look at him. But
Ah,
he ate my plantains. He ate everything. So that's a shame. I
you
feel weird
kind.
about it.
Every time you see her now, you never gonna forget it.
It feels
You're
like an
never.
episode of Curb. That's what it feels like. That it feels like. Wait a minute. I feel like Larry David of like
You ate your
you ate
food.
my
But
food.
Larry
Remember
would
when I
say
ate Larry
something.
shrimp?
They would Larry. Remember when he was like, "This food, that fish is wild
I want to text him like, yo, did you have the rest of my like where the
Yeah,
rest
I
of my
tell you what to say.
groceries at?
¿Dónde está mi
No,
comida?
I
Where
can't
is my
trust you.
food? No, where is my food?
Where's my food, bro?
¿Dónde
Where's the rest?
está? But the fact that you didn't hit him up and you didn't come get it, I also understand. Like,
I
oh
hit him
shit,
up yesterday. You keep saying that. I hit him up yesterday and he ignored me because he was
because
eating my food.
it's like
And the
you
fact
probably went
it's
and
the
bought
fact
that
that
asparagus.
he threw back the vegetable is what that's the
He gave
thing.
you
If
the
all the
bones.
groceries was going fine. That was crazy. Anyway, so my food going.
Damn.
Got him. Anyway, would you like to bring us in and ask the people to rate and subscribe? Please actually do it, y'all. Go ahead.
Please rate, subscribe, and share this podcast on whatever platform that you are listening to. If you're on Apple, you can comment, subscribe. If you're on Shopify, the same thing is possible. It helps us. So
You said
please,
Shopify?
damn, Spotify. So please help us. What's up with this patron plug?
Oh, Patreon. Go ahead. Tell people what Patreon is, Shanti, in case they don't know.
Patreon is a multi-tiered video subscription in which you will get access before the episode drops to our videos. You can see what we look like if Antoinette nods off or falls asleep. You gonna see it. Consider becoming a patron by going to www.patreon.com/around the way curls.
I was about to say, you hit them with the 3 W's.
No, she didn't change my life with that because I swear to WW, somehow that amounts to 3. WW, I can't explain it. It doesn't. W is a 3 syllable. Anyway, I can't even go into how somehow that is 3 to me. She said, why you don't say the last 3? What?
The last W. All right. I would like to play this to entice people to come on over to Patreon. This is not a paid ad, but listen here.
Oh my God, guys, I just watched your last episode when you were reviewing porn. The Kelly Roman thing. Frankie is hilarious. The winding, hilarious. I'm so glad that I'm a member of Patreon because it wouldn't have been that funny if I didn't see you guys. I love you guys. I love listening to you. This is like my second time calling, but I just wanted to share that. Hilarious. We need to see more of you guys in the camera, in front. Love it. This is if you guys do anything else, do more of this type of stuff because it was hilarious.
Y'all some freak junks on the low. They really we got so many voicemails
Kinky.
about the porn
kinky?
thing. And it wasn't porn.
That was pornographic. Ain't no way in hell you wasn't going to tell me. But then we sat with it after, like, days later, we would look and be like, what was that? What did we watch? And what's the name?
Who did that with you? Because I still am a fan. So make sense.
Oh, it was Tina and Dennis. And when we were at the funeral, we mentioned that, and we were like, what is his name? What's the name of the guy that directed it? No.
Oh, Tyler?
They were like, Tyler Perry, does he have sex life? Like, does Tyler Perry know what sex
First of all, y'all gonna be mad as shit when you find out Tyler put it down. Y'all some haters. The way Tyler be acting in the Medea outfits, he got some wine to his waist. Watch.
He kinky, ain't he? He kinky.
Tyler got a kid he stashed away somewhere.
Tyler kinky as fuck. He said, no, like this.
That's
crazy.
He probably was the intimacy coach for it.
He was like, Trevante, lay down and I'll show you how to do it. This is
they said Trevante. First of all, they said that the film was done in 28 days total, which tells you all you need to know. It keeps getting lower every time. These rumors are dumb.
Somebody texted us and said I worked on that, and they filmed that in
She
10
said
days.
28 days, I thought.
That's your period length normally.
Goodbye. That's not the... Okay.
She said 10.
You get over there. Well, we digress, but yes, we don't know how funny that... What was that? Is that a Hawaiian punch?
I wish you would catch me drinking a Hawaiian punch.
Well, is it in a Hawaii? Y'all see you're not on Patreon. Oh, it's a water. I thought that was a Hawaiian punch
Fiji
bottle.
Did you like Hawaiian punch? I wanted to like it as a kid, but I was like, this tastes like chemicals.
Yeah, I didn't
and
like
I would try
Hawaiian
to front.
punch. And you would try to like it anyway?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Shanti.
Weird child.
It's okay.
I was like,
well, anyway, if you would like to join our Patreon, do that. But shout out to the folks that did. Shout out to Ra, Brandy, Melissa, Lachelle, Kenneth, Nalia, Tiffany, and Isaiah. Also, we would like to announce that our next Patreon meetup is March 31st at 7:30 p.m. Again, that's March 31st at 7:30 p.m. Join us for another interesting gathering of the community. I'm high. Everything's slow right now.
Yeah.
And I also had the tens. Do you know tens? Do you know what this is?
Mm-mm.
I'm sending electric.
That looks like it's from 1986. It looks like something in Back to the Future, dog.
No, I'm sending electric shocks into my back.
You kinky too. Y'all crazy. All right. After these messages, we'll be right back. My stomach hurts.
Oh God! Like you got to pause.
Like I got bubble guts a little bit.
Oh God! That's an uncomfortable
I've been
feeling.
vegetarian for a long time, for a week, and then I went to goddamn Five Spice and ate a short rib pho with chicken wings.
You went to Five Spice with somebody else?
Yeah, and I ain't been right since.
You went with her?
Yeah.
What she get? What did she get?
That she ate the same thing.
And how did y'all get it? Did you even get it right? Mm-hmm. How'd you get it, Shanti? What'd you put in it?
No, I didn't get extra vegetables, apparently. And now my stomach is in ruins because it was pure. I was a pure being and I have sullied it.
Has she been there before?
Mm-mm.
Wow. Hadn't been there before, so you took somebody else to our spot. Okay. It's fine.
It's
fine.
Are
it's fine.
The one that really wants to be gay with me. And
no way, Jose. You got bubble guts. It's tricky. It's tricky over there. You don't be shaving your armpits all the time.
Yeah.
You a little too natural for me.
But you want to keep me keep me from doing things, running around doing hood rat things with other people.
How am I keep you from doing that? No, you could do hood rat things. You just need to come up with your own. Our traditions are our traditions. Like, what are you even talking about?
You don't take other people to Five Spice?
I do not.
Okay.
I go to Five Spice by myself. I don't have other people.
Lies and deceit.
Who did I take
that
to Five
just
Spice?
Came off. Everybody you know, you probably go to Five Spice. All of your friends have probably gone to Five Spice. Yes, they have. Everybody.
And I live here.
Has going. She's from Brooklyn,
city.
so she
You come to my fucking city. You don't even see me. You were supposed to sleep over. You didn't.
No, I'm glad.
And then you hit me around 6 o'clock talking about, oh, we never confirmed. We absolutely confirmed. I cleaned the house and everything. You lucky I was busy with work. Ain't no. You gonna stop doing that. You're gonna stop asking me for shelter. And then I provide the shelter and I gotta come home to clean it. And then you just stand me up.
You don't.
Disappointment, rejection, abandonment. This is what I deal with.
You didn't have to do any of it. And I figured
you abandoned me.
Oh.
Ready? Okay.
Hot shit.
What? love it.
I don't have a good pitch.
Hot shit.
That's your
Do it
thing. I
again.
really can't. I do the break. I sing once. You sing once.
No,
This is
your
it.
hot shit was fire. I didn't know that you were coming back. I think you just started singing.
It's your turn. I don't know I don't know the melody of that quite, you know.
You did it. It's just like Nelly. Hot shit. I'm going down, down, baby. You did it. What's
And we're
happening
back.
on this episode?
And we're back.
Hot shit. Go.
Say
I
it
don't
one
know.
more time.
Hot shit.
Here you go.
Wait, did we say and we're back and then we do hot shit? Yeah, say and we're back. Hot shit.
And, okay, go ahead. It's you. You intro it. Go ahead. That's you. That's why it's off, because it ain't my job. Go ahead.
Monty, just keep going. Leave all that in. I don't care. This is stupid. Go ahead.
Hot shit. Happy Ramadan to all of the Muslims and folks that are observing. It started last Sunday, I believe. For those of you who don't know the significance of Ramadan, Ramadan is considered one of the holiest months of the year for Muslims. It's commemorating the revelation of the Quran from Muhammad, the Prophet Muhammad, and Muslims fast from food and drink during the sunlit hours of the day as a means of drawing closer to God, cultivating self-control, gratitude, and compassion for those less fortunate, with increased and encouraged acts of community service, which is very important. And it is, Ramadan follows the Islamic calendar, which follows the lunar year, which is new to me because the symbol, or I guess some symbols that are often not associated. The moon and the star is often like a very important symbol in Islam, and I always attribute it to Muslims, but I didn't know why. But it is because they follow the lunar year, so the moon is important and helps, again, guide a lot of the year and the holy parts of the year. And so I believe it began again on last Sunday, and it's going to end sometime in April. I might have messed it up. I wrote that down, but then it got erased, so forgive me. But shout out to all of y'all. What a wonderful practice. I know many people who aren't Muslim, but still follow and observe Ramadan just for those pillars of self-control, gratitude, and community service. And yeah, shout out to you.
Very dope. I really wanted folks for this next Patreon kickback for us to discuss origin.
Oh.
And I don't know how many people were online. I mean, it is Women's History Month. We're not commemorating that in any kind of way. So I was thinking maybe we should be talking about something about Women's History Month on the Patreon kickback. Not sure yet. I personally want to talk about origin because honestly, that's a dope ass woman who wrote Caste, and that's what it's about. I still think it works, but origin is on Amazon Prime now. Ava DuVernay tweeted that. That's very exciting. So if folks could watch that so we can discuss it, nothing would make me happier. Shanti, are you going to watch it?
Yeah.
You are? Let me check that it's really on there. Origin. I spelled origin wrong here. Yep, it's on there. It's on Prime Video. It's $5.99 to rent. It's not on there for free. Apologies. But it is the best $6 you will spend. It is really worth it. So please watch that film. And it's the film by Ava DuVernay. There's another origin on here that has 1 star. It's not that one. Also, Cowboy Carter. Cowboy Carter is Beyonce's upcoming album, coming out 3/29.
Wow.
Okay?
I'm
We got
excited.
15 days from this recording. How do you feel? What do you think about the name?
I love it. I'm excited.
Do you know
for
what
it
it symbolizes, the name?
No. I guess she's going into her country era.
Well, guess what?
What?
The people, okay, so there's a TikToker going around putting people on the game and saying that the Carter family, way back in the Disney, was a family that stole. They were given the credit for that kind of guitar strum, that kind of ding 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 ding, that kind of acoustic, very
Twang.
percussive way to play the guitar.
Word.
And apparently, of course, it was not them. It was a Black individual who they were friends with that would show them how to do it, but they got all of the credit. And so Beyonce has obviously researched this, it seems, and is now taking
Bringing
on
it back.
Cowboy Carter. And how perfect is it that her last name is actually fucking Carter?
It's just always
some shit is
alignment.
just divine. Yeah,
the
divine
spiritual
alignment.
shit really works, apparently, for them.
I agree. Mm-hmm.
Shout out to them.
The
Lots of
other
synchronicity.
thing, what is that song? Jolene?
Jolene.
I have not heard that song in a long time. Dolly Parton. For those of you who don't know, Jolene by Dolly Parton, please go check that shit out now. Heart-wrenching song. Great fucking song. Apparently, Beyonce asked a while ago for the rights to re-record that. We don't know. Well, wait. She did release a list of songs, didn't she? Isn't it on there? I hope, because I want to hear Beyonce cover this. Let me just read the lyrics real fast. Jolene, 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 I'm begging you, please don't take my man. Jolene, 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 please don't take him just because you can. Your beauty is beyond compare, flaming locks of auburn hair, ivory skin and eyes of emerald green. Your smile is like breath of spring. Your voice is soft like summer rain. I cannot compete with you, Jolene. Damn. Heart-wrenching.
Dolly was a bad
Listen.
mama jamma her day now, so.
Listen.
I just saw me and said, let me see Jolene, because the way Dolly was looking, Jolene had to have been a god.
Anyway, I hope that it's on there. Cowboy Carter track list. Let me see. I don't know. I thought that she actually really released that track list, but now I don't see it. No, she didn't. That was a made-up track list. All right. Well, let's hope that that's on there. Can't wait to listen. Moving right along. Uh-oh. Politics as usual. Wow. Blah. Did you watch the State of the Union?
I did not. I was going to look at this here.
But when I left last time, the one thing that I asked all the listeners was to please watch the State of the Union.
Mm-hmm.
And I fear that I've been disappointed yet again in my life. Guys, girls, non-binary royalty, we gotta watch these States of the Unions. What'd you say?
I'm gonna watch it.
Okay. Well, the link is right there for you, kid. I watched it the very next day. Was very excited to do so. It was raucous. It was a ruckus, rather. It was interesting. Joe Biden obviously came out to show everyone that he is not being controlled by a little alien and that he is alive and well.
Oh, good.
That he showed a lot of vitality, if I'm being honest. He was yelling, but it's okay. He was yelling to get people going. That was
literally screaming.
He was literally like, and America. Like he was with the shits. Now he will calm down. I think this was the best we've ever seen Joe Biden.
Okay. I need to watch this.
Best we've ever seen him. Now, I went back in the archives. Joe Biden apparently always had a stutter. This I did not know. Even as a young man, he would and then move right along. So when he stutters now, obviously we are thinking like, oh, it's old age. And we know that Joe Biden has been flubbing. But boy, did he practice this. I know Jill was tired of hearing him in the bathroom going for this speech because he was well rehearsed and he was really good off script as well. He did better off script. He had one flub. Marjorie Taylor Greene caught him off guard. And she was dressed like an asshole, in my humble
What?
opinion. She had a big old Trump hat on that, you know, was signed by Trump. She's got all this American flag head to toe on, which actually it's supposed to be, the Republicans are supposed to feel like it's disrespectful to wear the American flag, but that's the old Republican Party. But she's not supposed to have any hats on in the chamber, but she did anyway. And she was on the end of the aisle. What was very interesting, she was second from the end of the aisle. A black woman, I don't remember her name right now, another congresswoman, she came in late, and that was the only seat that was left. Democratic congresswoman. She's like, oh, fuck. And the aisle seats are coveted seats because the president's going to walk down. You're going to be able to shake hands. Like, it's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
But she recognized that that seat was open. Why? Because nobody wanted to sit next to Marjorie Taylor Greene. So she sits down. And what was interesting was she was being interviewed. Who was it? It might have been Tamron Hall. I don't remember who it was. Joy Taylor. Someone was talking to her. Joy Taylor, is that right? Or is that the ESPN lady? I'm tripping. I'm high. Forgive me. But basically, she was saying that Marjorie Taylor Greene was spouting stuff out. And then she would say to her, well, you know, that's not actually right. Yada, yada. And like, and would give her some history lessons. And she was saying like, what? That's not true. And she said, no, Black people really couldn't vote until this date. And like, here's the Voting Rights Act. This is when it was signed. She was like, that's so recent. Like, she was having these epiphanies in the fucking chamber. Yeah. And so it was interesting because the Black woman was saying, you know, she's someone who I would never engage in conversation, but just literally and figuratively reaching across the aisle to educate her in a way that wasn't public, you know, in a way that wasn't where she didn't feel like she was being chastised. Mm-hmm. Maybe she kind of received it, but she saw how ill-informed and ignorant a lot of her vitriol is rooted in. So that was an interesting thing. But anyway, back to Joe. He said a lot. He said all the right things. It was definitely a speech that was more of a campaign. It was like a campaign speech. It wasn't really a State of the Union. But I want to say that he addressed I brought up Marjorie Taylor Greene because she shouted out a woman who was killed by an undocumented person here. And so she started screaming, say her name. And she had passed Joe Biden a pin when he was coming down with the woman's name on it. And Joe went and picked up the pin and he addressed her and her family and gave his condolences and said, you know, it's unacceptable that anyone would be killed by an illegal. But guess what? People are killed by people here every day. It doesn't make a difference. Now, people jumped on the fact that he called them an illegal, which that is not verbiage that anybody wants being used, not in the Democratic Party. That was his flub. And it was quite the flub. When I heard it, I was like, what the fuck? But, you know, all in all, this was Joe at his best. I actually want to play part of it, if that's okay, because he addressed his age head on at the end of the speech. He also addressed the atrocities and genocide. He didn't call it genocide happening in Gaza. He was also caught on a hot mic when the speech was over, talking to senators, and they were talking about Netanyahu, and he was saying he needs to have a come to Jesus moment and basically get his shit together because this ain't it. And immediately people came up to him and was like, your mic is still on, your mic is still on. He was like, oh, I'm on a hot mic. Okay. And like, they immediately started talking about something else. So he just pivoted. I don't know if that was staged. Who knows? But it happened. There was also a key moment where he was talking about the immigration bill that the Republicans killed. And because Donald Trump said to them, basically, I want to run on immigration and the border. And if he gets this through, it's going to be too much of a win for him. Well, a Republican senator, the one who helped write it, sat there while Joe was saying, the other guy, the former president, he never addressed Trump by name. The former president doesn't want to see this stuff fixed. He just wants to take the glory for himself. And and started running off all the things the bill would have gotten done. And the Republican senator sits there, he's shaking his head, the camera pans to him, he goes, "That's true." And they got him on camera saying it. So I'm like Democrats, please, you have to put that in some sort of campaign, like that needs to be captured and put out into the atmosphere. But they'll fuck it up anyway because they don't know how to market shit. I don't get it. But I want to play the end part of his speech, not because I'm saying Joe Biden is a great guy, because I'm saying that it's very interesting, this age conversation we've been having. And he brought some levity to it. And he talked about being a senator at 29, which was crazy. I didn't know that. He was elected at 29 and sworn in at 30. And he was a lawyer back in Delaware, but he left to pursue public office because after Dr. King was shot and killed, Delaware was in so much disarray that they had to call the National Guard in due to all of the riots. And so that made him want to go into public office, he said, and quote unquote, make a difference. But let's just hear what he has to say. Can you put down the time? Monty, take this out because I have to go to the actual YouTube. Oh my God, I feel
build the future together. Let's remember who we are. We are the United States of America.
Shut up. All right, ready? Mm-hmm. I hope this is right. Ready, set, go.
In my career, I've been told I was too young. By the way, they're going to let me on the Senate elevators for votes sometimes. Not a joke. And I've been told I'm too old. Whether young or old, I've always known what endures. I've known our North Star. The very idea of America is that we're all created equal. It deserves to be treated equally throughout our lives. We've never fully lived up to that idea, but we've never walked away from it either. And I won't walk away from it now. I'm optimistic. I really am. I'm optimistic, Nancy. My fellow Americans, the issue facing our nation isn't how old we are, it's how old are our ideas. Hate, anger, revenge, retribution are the oldest of ideas. But you can't lead America with ancient ideas that only take us back. You lead America, the land of possibilities. You need a vision for the future and what can and should be done. Tonight you've heard mine. I see a future where defending democracy, you don't diminish it. I see a future where we restore the right to choose and protect our freedoms, not take them away. I see a future where the middle class finally has a fair shot and the wealthy have to pay their fair share in taxes. I see a future where we save the planet from the climate crisis and our country from gun violence. Above all, I see a future for all Americans. I see a country for all Americans. And I will always be president for all Americans because I believe in America. I believe in you, the American people. You're the reason we've never been more optimistic about our future than I am now. So let's build the future together. Let's remember who we are. We're the United States of America. And there is nothing beyond our capacity when we act together. God bless you all.
All right, what's going on? So obviously he's addressing Trump and all of those. I believe this. It's very obvious that he's drawing those lines for comparison. But it was just, the Republicans really set the bar very low. They said the man had dementia, that he could hardly function. Then he came out there and delivered one of the best speeches ever. So I was happy for Joe. Do I believe all of it? No. But I was happy for him, and he did what he needed to do. That speech was critical for the Democratic Party, and he delivered. The Republican response was insanity. Did you see the response with the young woman in Alabama, from Alabama? Oh my God, we don't have time. I'm gonna send you that. We'll stay on after this episode. That'll be for the patrons. I have to play you what she did. For those of you that watched, you know what I'm talking about. This lady was crazy. They had her in the kitchen. She was like crying, fake crying at one moment, and then was really tough in the other. They just like overcoached her, and everybody was like, the Republican Party was horrified by it. Everybody was talking about it. Like, what the fuck was that?
She's just a regular citizen, or
no? She's a I forget. She's an up and coming congresswoman that the Republicans are putting all their wings and steam behind. But anyway, do you have any thoughts on anything that I just said? Does Joe look like he's dying? What do you think?
Joe's up there talking.
He was up there yelling, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Talking that good stuff.
Can't hear you.
He was up there talking that good stuff. He was up there aroused.
Okay.
And the crowd was aroused in response to it. It was good energy.
Okay.
John Bartlett was found in South Carolina with a quote-unquote self-inflicted gunshot wound to his head last Saturday. John was a Boeing whistleblower, He was in Charleston for a deposition for a lawsuit in which he accused Boeing of retaliating against him for making complaints about quality and safety of the 787 Dreamliner planes, which often are holding, the passengers. Most recently, on January, one of those planes' door flew open mid-flight, which has led to a lot of concerns about the Boeing manufacturing and the quality control in which they are operating. And Mr. John Bartlett was one of the folks speaking out about it and said that he was facing threats and complaints and, from the Boeing company after he started speaking out about it. He made international headlines in April of 2019 when he and other former Boeing employees spoke to New York Times about what he called shoddy manufacturing problems at Boeing. Bartlett accused the company of adopting a culture that prioritized raw numbers and profits over quality. He was said to have said, as a quality manager at Boeing, you're the last of defense before a defect makes its way out to a flying public, he told the newspaper. And I haven't seen a plane out of Charleston yet that I'd put my name on saying it's safe and airworthy.
Ooh.
The company Boeing most recently has failed 33 of 89 audits during an examination conducted by the Federal Aviation Administration. Again, a door panel blew off a 737 MAX during an Alaska Airlines flight in early January. The FAA's examination explored how well Boeing's employees understood the company's quality control processes. The agency interviewed 6 company engineers and scored their responses, and the overall average score came out to only 58%.
Oh.
Boeing is within the top 3 largest weapons distributors in the world. According to Macro Trends, Boeing's gross profit for the 12 months ending December 31st, 2023 was 7.72, how do you say that? $7.724 billion, a 118.81% increase year over year. So the company's not making money. You know what I mean? It's making profits, and it has many channels of money. Not only does it have the airlines, but again, it also provides in weapons
I did not
throughout
know
the
that
world.
they did that.
And now we see this whistleblower with quote unquote self-inflicted gunshot wounds. And of course, a lot of people are assuming that he was killed, and killed by whom? Boeing, of course, for him, squealing. And I've been looking at just some memes, and folks are saying things like, I don't think most of us are prepared to fully acknowledge the lengths to which capital is willing to go to uphold this system. It's probably a good idea to come to grips with the fact that we live in a country where corporations and the government can assassinate citizens with impunity. And the fact that we don't feel that or see that this isn't terrifying, that this isn't obvious. I think it's obvious to a lot of people, but I don't know that we're like, oh, that's what happens. It made me think of like Griselda, the show that I just watched, or all of these criminal drug lord type of drama series, power series. We're like, oh yeah, you're gonna off them. Like that's just what you do. That's what happens. And what that actually means for us as a society. And I just feel like it's becoming more and more like, I don't know, when you talk about disassociating, I feel like we have all disassociated in a way that, like, I don't know if maybe it's not a bad thing, in the fact that we are realizing like, oh, this shit is not, this just can't be real, or the rules and the laws that we think we live by, it just like, it's just so obviously not real, not true, that we're all just kind of like, I don't know, tapping out, not taking it seriously. And I don't know if that's a bad, I don't know what that means, but like that's wild. How
What
did you
does it
feel when
mean?
you said that to me, and I was like, what?
Because I was like, oh, she'll eat this up.
I saw a meme where they're like, the conspiracy theorists and the regular general population are like shaking hands now. It was like the Boeing,
I'm
murders.
not a conspiracy theorist person at all, because I got one for TikTok coming up. But I'll be honest, I just got upset because the flight to my friend's wedding, they're both Boeing 737 planes. Is everything okay in your apartment?
And he's screaming upstairs. I hope it ain't a fire, child, because now the alarm going off and they screaming. That's crazy that I'm so disassociated that
yeah, like, are you okay?
Your heart just doesn't affect me. It's just another day as a...
Yeah, she just put makeup on.
Yeah. Yes, it's a wild world out here. It's really, really wild. And that is just, I think the part that really hit me is that corporations can assassinate citizens with impunity. That's
and here's the deal. If Boeing goes down, what does that do to the ecosystem, the financial ecosystem? What does that do to the war ecosystem, to the weapons ecosystem? Like, I don't think it's just Boeing that wants to protect Boeing. You understand?
Yes.
This is all like, these institutions have to stay afloat. If they don't, then everything else comes tumbling down.
Corporations, yeah, everything.
But the corporations. What's also interesting is that planes fly all the time fucked up. I forget what it is. I saw it online. Like the percentage of things that could be wrong with a plane and it's still allowed to take off is wild. Wild. They be like, oh yeah, that engine's down, that's engine's down, but we got this one. We can go. It's like, excuse me? Say it again. For me, planes don't make sense. That shouldn't work. And so I disassociate when it comes to planes. I'm just like, you know what? I don't need to understand this. I'm going to get on here and I will be that person that claps at the end of a flight because this shit don't make no sense to me.
It's a miracle.
Very good. Abracadabra. This other shit, this is terrible. I'm curious to know how it's being reported on though. Like, are there reporters asking the hard questions around like, did he really kill himself? Like, what is that reporting?
Boeing whistleblower found dead in U.S. I don't know. To me, that's just like says everything to me. It's just like, what? What else could it be?
Yeah, I mean, look at
how deep
who was the dude who had all the who had the island where all the politicians and everybody went?
Epstein.
What was his name?
Epstein. Yeah,
they just, he killed himself. Huh?
What?
And then we want to get on Vladimir Putin. Don't get me started.
I'm telling you.
We're always like, Vladimir Putin will kill anybody that speaks out against him. But we're not, I'm not drawing that correlation because he legit will kill people who simply speak out about him. Like we could be dead the way we talk about, the way we criticize Joe Biden. Joe would have offed us already if he was Vladimir.
If we got enough power, we'd be dead. They don't care about us.
We are powerful, Shanti.
But we don't
let
have
them convince you that you're not.
We don't have the attention of that many people, child.
All right, well, this is horrible.
Rest in peace, rest in power, Raymond. You know what I mean? Just trying to be of service to the community. Somebody that really cares. Somebody that really is trying to correct and amplify these systems and just basic safety 101, dog. And they're like, you don't get your nut ass out of here. Who are you talking to? We're making 100%, 118% increase in profits. Shut up. Get out of here. That's crazy. Shout out to Boeing.
I'm going to have to research that more.
And we got to go on a plane. That's a shame. We got to go on planes.
I know.
Because I'm sorry to everybody that has a flight coming up. I apologize. But
well,
also,
if you're not listening to this on a flight, just clap when you land.
It's a miracle.
It is a miracle. Things we can't get into, but we do want to mention. Oh, you got the first one.
TikTok ban. The U.S. House passed legislation on Wednesday by an overwhelming majority that could force TikTok to divest from control by its Chinese parent company or be banned from the U.S. entirely. Its fate in the Senate is not clear. Al Jazeera does its best to sum up what this is all about. And I quote, "The battle over TikTok is the latest front in U.S.-China competition and Washington's attempt to thwart potential foreign influence campaigns. In the case of TikTok, U.S. legislators fear that ByteDance, which is the parent company of TikTok, could be secretly controlled by the Chinese Communist Party." And they say that while all of our U.S. information not having any standards or similar standards or concerns for any of the other social media platforms and technical companies that spread misinformation and take all of our information as well, which is very interesting. But
no, TBD. But they don't care about the U.S. having U.S. citizens' information. China can't have it, which I understand. China is an adversary, basically. We act like they're not, but they are. I have a conspiracy theory on this. Brianna Joy Gray, I love her. She was reporting on this, and I had a feeling about this as well. There's been a lot of talk about TikTokers and how effective they've been with spreading information online.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so there's a lot of talk about quieting them and quieting their voices, especially now while folks are discussing Palestine and Israel.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people feel like, which the ADL, which is the Anti-Defamation League, that they successfully lobbied for a TikTok ban because they're losing the PR battle over Gaza. And now people are thinking that, the government is complicit in that, because right now it does not serve the government. The current government, Biden and the Democrats are everybody is going to have a hard time with this if they are in full support of Netanyahu and what Netanyahu is doing. This is all developing, and I wish I could play the clip, but we have to keep going. But a lot of these, this isn't in law yet. It has to get through the Senate. It may, but this is something where a lot of people are saying it's censorship, and the retort is going to be, we're not trying to censor anybody. We're trying to protect American citizens from Chinese hackers, from this, from that. They've already successfully hacked a couple folks using TikTok. And that happened in Canada, I believe, where they knew exact locations of different U.S., I don't know, government officials and things like that. Yada, yada, yada.
I mean, we talked about it a couple weeks ago that somebody went to the Senate like, yo, China has our shit on, like, we are very vulnerable. I don't know if they're worried about TikTok when he was talking about like actual infrastructure of cities in the US. So,
I mean,
okay.
Both of them are important if it is true. Okay. If it is true that all of this information can be accessed and can be manipulated, fine. Both are important. I also think, as we say here, duality is a thing. Two things can be true at once. I think all of this spread of information is becoming a bit problematic for folks to control the narrative and manipulate. With that said, I think it's interesting that the other social media platforms aren't being touched because they're American owned, but they're also doing a great job in censoring, shadow banning their damn selves. So also shout out to Shaun King. I don't know why I'm thinking about him, because he got kicked off of Instagram, and shout out to him because did you see he converted to Islam?
He took his shahada. He did some real Philly shit.
The memes on this. Yo.
What's Shaun's name gonna be?
I do not know.
Kaseem. That's Shaun. That's a Muslim name that Shaun would have.
Kaseem.
My example of a Kaseem. That's a Kaseem ass name.
Kaseem King. That's
Kaseem King. That's his name. That's a Muslim ass light skinned Philly nigga that just took his shahada's name. Shout out to everybody that just took their shahada.
Ciao. A couple more things. Nigerian children are being kidnapped. This is horrible. Officials and witnesses have given varying figures of the number of students taken from a school in a town in northwest Nigeria. I think it's I don't know how to pronounce this. Kuriga. They're saying between 200 and 300 children are reported to be missing, some of them as young as 8. This is the second abduction in Nigeria in a week. After another 200 people, mainly women and children, were kidnapped by militias.
Nigeria's a mess apparently right now, like a whole mess.
Yeah, Nigeria, Haiti. I'm going to get into Haiti in a second. There's so many places. There's so many places we need to be paying attention to. Nigeria, Lebanon, Sudan, Congo. It's just, it goes on, and there's only so much time in the day. I thought this would be interesting for you. Oregon is rolling back decriminalizing hard drugs. This was on the Daily. I listened to it. They were a major city to decriminalize like hard drugs. Hard drugs. And now people are coming back and saying like, this is not working. deaths, overdoses, hospitalizations, crime, they're all up. They skyrocketed after they did this. And the idea was that they would decriminalize these things, and then there were systems put in place to get folks help. But there's a ton of other factors. Inflation skyrocketed, COVID hit, like there's all these other factors that could have impacted this, but they are rolling back these laws. The only good thing about the only not good thing, but the light at the end of the tunnel is that they're rolling this back, but then the people who they do actually arrest or take into custody, they will now have the option to either serve time or to go into a facility, and the money that would have been spent putting them in jail is going to be spent putting them into facilities.
Oh wow, that's great.
Apparently. So
That's
they're
great.
still trying to
pivot.
reimagine things over there.
Yeah.
But it was a blow to this kind of what is it?
Yeah.
This leader,
Alternative.
and this very alternative approach
Aggressive.
to just being punitive when it comes to addiction. So more to come on that. But I mean, the people the testimonies from these people, it's really scary. And of course, they're going to choose the most drastic ones, but people saying that they've been chased down the street with people high on all kinds of ketamine and this and that they have walked past people just shooting up. Kids can't sit and wait for the bus stop because there's people just out in the open, high as a kite on things, shooting up, copying this and that, and they just don't feel safe. You never know because it's a report and we're not there. Things can be swayed, but it was a very, very interesting listen. So check that out on the Daily. Lastly, I'm sorry, I got to do it. Another clip. I have to play this because of what's going on in Haiti, and we can't get into it. But this gentleman, I'm forgetting his name right now. I'm going to pull it up and I will know. He is of Haitian descent, and he's getting a lot of play right now because he does an excellent job in reporting on Haiti and giving folks a lot of background into why Haiti is in the predicament that it is in now. So give me 1 second. Apologies. Not sure why that's happening. Monty, take all this out for me, please. Oh, please open. If not, I think I emailed it to us. Hold on. That's 1 hour and 1 minute and 6 seconds. You gotta put that. Why is this not working? Hold on. Just did all this. Now this shit not working.
Listen, you're of Haitian and French descent. You've covered Haiti for most of your.
Here we go. Okay.
Coming out of Haiti, buildings on fire, dead bodies in the prisons emptied of prisoners.
Oh my God, this is so hard to maneuver.
Prisons emptied of prisoners.
Jeez. Okay, ready? Sorry. We're back. This gentleman's name is Vladimir Duthires. How you say that? Duthier? I don't know how to say it. But he is a host on the CBS morning show. He's a CBS news anchor, former CNN foreign correspondent in West Africa. All right.
Probably seen images like these coming out of Haiti. Buildings on fire, dead bodies in the street, prisons emptied of prisoners, not a guard in sight, ordinary Haitians running for their lives. Here's what's going on. Haiti's gangs have seized the capital of Port-au-Prince, and they are all vying for political power. Overnight, Prime Minister Ariel Henry announced that he will resign after weeks of pressure. But there's a backstory there. Ali was sworn in 2 weeks after the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse back in 2021, and he agreed to a power-sharing deal with the opposition until new elections could be held. But he repeatedly delayed those new elections, citing security concerns, and as you might imagine, that did not sit well with the population. Over the last 2 weeks, Haiti's powerful and politically connected gangs have waged war across the capital city of Port-au-Prince. The man that you're looking at right now, his name is Jimmy Chezier, aka Barbecue. He's one of the most feared and powerful gang leaders in Port-au-Prince, and he has said that this situation will lead to civil war and even genocide if the prime minister refuses to step down. Gangs have stormed the nation's biggest prisons, 2 of them, freed 4,700 inmates. They seized control of the ports and laid siege to the international airport, torched dozens of shops, businesses, police stations, and places of worship. Now, I have Haitian ancestry, and I think it's incumbent on me to give you a quick history lesson for context. In 1804, Haiti declared its independence from its brutal slave owners, France. They established the first independent Black republic in the history of the world. But for generations, descendants of the enslaved had to actually pay reparations to their enslavers, sending about $500 million back to France, money that could have gone to building Haiti's schools, its roads, infrastructure, a vibrant democracy on the island. Had that money stayed in Haiti, economists estimate that it would have added some $21 billion over time to Haiti's economy, and that is a very conservative estimate. In 1914, the United States Marines strolled into the headquarters of Haiti's National Bank and simply walked out with about $500,000 of Haiti's gold. Haiti's wealth. That wealth, according to invaluable reporting done by the New York Times, helped fund National City Bank. They're the predecessor to what eventually became Citigroup. The next summer, 1915, the United States invades the country, saying it was too poor and too unstable to take care of itself. Now, it is very important to note that deep corruption has existed amongst Haiti's political leaders for many, many years, many decades. You can't gloss over that. But it wasn't always like that, folks. The images that you're seeing on your screens, the horrific images that Haitians are going through right now, it wasn't always like that. Back in the 1950s and 60s and even into the 1970s, Haiti was a beautiful country. Like many other islands in the Caribbean, it was considered a playground for the rich and famous. Even under the brutal dictatorship of François Duvalier, known as Papa Doc, the streets were clean. The airport was a marvel. The schools were some of the best, graduating scientists, engineers, doctors, lawyers, writers, many who emigrated to the United States to contribute to the fabric of our society here. A fabric as old as the United States itself, given that Haitians fought in the American Revolution to help the United States liberate themselves from the British. But you can't gloss over the fact that even with all of this context that I'm providing, there's a deep culture of corruption that has existed among Haiti's political leaders, as well as its business leaders. And over again, tragically, horrifically, in some cases, they have failed the Haitian people. Of that, there is no doubt. Pile on natural disasters like the catastrophic earthquakes in 2010 and 2021, the return of cholera, which was reintroduced by UN peacekeepers, those have only made matters worse. So yes, Haitians are resilient. Haitians are strong. They are hopeful. They are proud of their history as the first independent Black nation in the history of the world. But that might not be enough to get them out of the situation that they're in today. So let me leave you with a question, one that we've been asking ourselves as journalists. Who's bringing in and providing all these military-style weapons into Haiti? Who's arming these gangs? Who benefits the most from the chaos? It's an important question.
I know that's a long clip, but I thought it was an important one to play. Again, this is one person's point of view on this, and we'll do more research. I'll do more research on my end to make sure that we're keeping up with what's happening there. Shout out to all the Haitian folks in my life who listen to this podcast, who don't, who I don't even know who listen, but we see what's happening. It's not being ignored, and we're sorry. That's it. All right. Change of complete change in direction. Pop culture. Shanti.
Back to let's glaze over again with this kind of stuff.
Now we're moving into
back to disassociating.
Disassociating.
Let's go back. Duality, guys.
You're welcome.
Whoa. The Oscars. Go ahead, Antoinette.
What? You put this on here?
No, I didn't write that. You wrote that.
Oh.
Seems like it's a.
Well, the Oscars. I mean, the Oscars happened. Did you watch?
I got no TV. No.
I love it. So the Oscars happened. I did not watch either. I was working, but I did check out some of the commentary and some of the clips. I didn't want to start with this, but I guess I put it in the wrong place. I would like, for the second time in 3 years, the Oscar for the best documentary short was claimed by Ben Proudfoot. But the Canadian-born filmmaker also had a fellow director on this project, Chris Bowers. Chris Bowers is someone who I used to work with at Dizzy's. Ooh, do I want that? Take that out, Monty. Chris Bowers is someone that I used to work with at the Jazz Club. And he's an amazing, amazing composer, songwriter, producer. And then to see him step into this role of like directing films just like came out of nowhere to me. But it made sense because the story that they won for is called The Last Repair Shop. It's a story about craftspeople in Los Angeles who keep 8,000 musical instruments working in order for the city's public school students to have them.
Wow, I love that.
Isn't that great? It's the only big city school system that keeps kids in tune with free bassoons, trombones, sousaphones, cellos, piccolos, and every other kind of instrument. And the young lady who was in it, just Google her, everybody. Google this precious Lamb of God who walked up there with them, the star of the movie, I'm presuming. She was a baby girl, probably like 11, 12 years old, little chunky cutie in this big old fluffy blue dress, and she walked up real proudly. She wasn't scared. She wasn't timid, but she was sweet, and I was like, this is the treatment for our little Black girls. It was so nice to see her up there. It was so nice to see Chris. I'm just so proud of him. And he was always a really, very, very sweet, great person. And so shout out to artists just figuring shit out and doing dope things. I believe that he's been nominated for like Emmys and stuff for his music and his compositions. And he's gotten he's gotten respect from like Quincy Jones, like those type of composers. Like he's the real deal. But I love this for him. I love it. And what a perfect story for them. So, and he Black. So we talk about the Blacks that won. And he wasn't on this list. That's why I put him on there. So shout out to Chris Bowers.
Alhamdulillah. Shout out for Best Supporting Actress, another Black person, Divine Joy Randolph. From Philly. Loved her acceptance speech. Loved her energy. Loved how generous she was, how inspiring she was in her speech. Just talking about, of course, having the support of her mother. And just to keep going, and the unlikely person, triumphing was kind of the theme of her speech. She won again for Best Supporting Actress of The Holdover. But I ain't gonna hold you. I don't know why that movie won all the awards that it won.
You saw it? I didn't see it.
Yes, I saw it with Amanda and Jasmine. And
y'all went to see a movie without me?
We didn't go to the movies. We were at her house.
Oh, was it good?
But I don't know. No.
Was she
I don't know
good
why.
in it,
and
though?
She was good, but to get an Oscar, I'm sorry. I'm just going to be the one to say it. Like, I'm happy for her, but I really don't.
This is anti-Black.
It's not anti-Black. It's just the truth. I don't know why that movie got all the attention that it got. And I didn't see the other actresses. So maybe she was the best out of all of them. And I'm not taking it from her, but I was just also like, oh.
She swept them. I want to see it now. She got all of the awards, I believe, for this season. I think she's on her 20-something award for this role.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Damn, girl. Go ahead.
She was good. She was, of everybody on in that movie, she was probably the best. I will definitely say that. But
Maybe
it
you just
wasn't
didn't like the film.
no, it wasn't like a shining role. It wasn't like like whoa.
Well, okay. All right, I'm gonna watch it now.
But shout out to her. I just Kanye'd her. I apologize. But I just had to say what I had to say.
Congrats, girl.
Congrats, girl. I don't think you deserved it, but all right now. No, I don't. The role was just that.
Well, maybe the writing you didn't like.
The writing,
she did the best. What she did what she could.
The
with
character.
The
The character.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Keep going.
Best adapted screenplay, Core Jefferson of American Fiction.
Did you see
won.
American Fiction?
No, I need to.
That was another one you hated on. You said
No,
I have no interest in seeing that movie. I have that one. That
yeah,
you said that on an
look
episode.
compelling to me, but apparently it was.
It's good.
You said it was great.
It's really good. I think it's. I don't know that it's like the best film I've ever seen, but it's shocking. It's not shocking. It's not what you expect it to be. It's raw-ish. I don't know. It's good.
All right. It basically was a screenplay adapted from a book, the book being Erasure. It's the only other Black winner in the category of Best Adapted Screenplay to win an Oscar, aside from Precious. Push, remember?
So do you understand? This is why I put this here, because it's ironic. You realize that this film, American Fiction, is adapted from Erasure, but that Erasure, the book Erasure, is a novel that criticizes Push by Sapphire, which is what Precious is based off of. And the only other Black writer to win in this category is Who Did Precious. So the movie that is criticizing the depiction of us in Precious,
and that's what it is. That the book, the movie is it's like a soft nod at that. You know what book they're talking about.
Erasure is absolutely criticizing Push by Sapphire and all of those tropes, but specifically Push by Sapphire.
Anyway, that makes me mad because that's one of the most. That book fucked me up, and that writer fucked me up. But go ahead. Go keep going. Interesting.
Nothing.
Remember Push? You remember young girls reading Push back in the day? Red book, black text. You never read Push?
I never read Push.
Good. You probably shouldn't have. But that writer, Sapphire, is probably one of my favorite writers and poets ever. She's amazing.
I don't think what they're saying is that is not a story that should be told. I think what they're saying is that is not the only story to be told.
It was a very provocative movie on all accounts. Yeah.
So Cord is catching a little bit of heat based off of it's not his speech on stage, but based off of an interview he did afterwards. And I just want to play that. Another clip.
Another clip.
Can you put that in there for me, Queen?
Lesson here, and it's kind of what I try to convey in my speech, is that there's an audience for things that are different. There is an appetite for things that are different, and a story with Black characters that's going to appeal to a lot of people doesn't need to take place on a plantation, doesn't need to take place in the projects, doesn't need to have drug dealers in it, doesn't need to have gang members in it. That there's an audience for different depictions of people's lives, and there is a market for depictions of Black life that are as broad and as deep as any other depictions of people's lives. Hopefully the lesson here,
and then he ends with, does that make sense? I don't know why, but people were really upset about this. Some people. They were mad at that. And I was just like, y'all just want to be mad? Like, what we doing? There's a woman on Twitter, her name is April Rain, and she said, what's the Venn diagram looking like of folks who think Cord Jefferson is being elitist, and the folks who say that they don't want more Black trauma porn films? Y'all got to pick a struggle. And I agree. It's like, what we complain about. We get mad. We say all the time, "There's no Love Jones." Like we just need films of Black people being like we are actual human beings, and then we're mad at a Black man saying that, and just in a different kind of way.
Maybe it is. Maybe it's more powerful to not say anything. You know, I think about Atlanta. I think about God, it's
To
escaping
let the
me.
work speak for itself.
Yeah, Mikola.
But his whole film was about that. Just so
Well, I
Michaela,
guess he has to, but like maybe
the whole
that's.
film's about that.
I feel like even that's obtuse, though. Like you make a. Why don't you just make a film?
Well, you
then?
didn't see the film, so see the film first before you say it's obtuse, because the film talks about this it's not in a heavy-handed way. It's very clever the way the film does it. Very clever. It's also like he adds levity to it, and and the character, Issa Rae's character, actually provides the other argument around this elitist approach to, you know, the Omar Tyrees, the Tyler Perrys of the world, these folks who are making films that some people will look down on and say, you know, that's a trope, that's this, that's that. There's appetite for that, and we should be able to do that without worrying about a white gaze either. So he in the film,
he tries to show it all.
Both sides are represented, and it's not heavy-handed, in my opinion. It was enjoyable.
Well, maybe just, I don't know. Maybe just doing it, just making the things. I don't know. I have to see it.
How do you respond to that? To a question?
I wasn't in any way. I wasn't upset by what he said. I would agree, but I also understand the value and the power of just making the work, like a Michaela Cole.
I get it, but if someone asked Michaela Cole a question about it, specifically about that, she
did.
And what did she say?
She did make a comment. Like she fought really hard, and she actually, that's, you know, a lot of the reason why her original project she stopped doing, because it became, you know, this like perverse, oh, you want to see Black people in this way. She went through that. I think what's the nigga named Donald Glover went through that. I think all of them went through that, but
I understand them going through it. I think what I'm saying is, if someone asks the question, if a reporter asks the question about that, and you respond, like, you got to respond. I think you have to see the film in order to understand why he would have needed to respond. Yeah. Because that's the premise.
Yeah, so I don't find anything wrong with what he said. And I'm saying Michaela and Donald Glover have all had that same argument and that same, like, can we just make good art? Issa Rae, can we just talk about, like, Black shit? You know what I mean? I just want to talk about Black shit from my point of view without it being necessarily struggly, but
interesting.
I think he was talking that good shit. I don't get what people want. What do you want?
What do people want?
It doesn't matter what people want. You do what you want to do.
That's what Mila said on the last Good Moms, Bad Choices Instagram clip, where she was like, if you're out here trying to please everybody and be for everybody's audience, you're going to fucking lose. Like, you are not going to be for everybody. And the quicker you learn that, the better your work will be. Just do your shit, be authentic to yourself, let the people say what they say, and the people who it resonates with, and you keep moving forward with them.
Come on, niche marketing.
And I was like, oh, okay, but that doesn't work for me the way that I'm set up. Anyway, the only time I don't give a fuck is like, nah, I'm not going to stop talking about politics. Suck it. Let's talk about Ryan Gosling. White excellence.
He is such an endearing cutie patootie, isn't he? I didn't even watch the whole performance. I just saw a little bit. And
you didn't watch it? You're so annoying.
I didn't. But I know what I did see, and what it made me remember, because I was like, oh, he sounds good. I didn't watch the whole thing. I was like, oh, you know, this nigga got the riz. But then Tina shared that he was doing his Jodeci. He adjusted to. I forgot. Oh, I saw that before, and like, cheese from ear to ear, and then it all came back that he was.
And he sounded
up in
good
his
singing
arm. He
Jodeci.
sounded great.
He sang
I was
Cry For You.
nervous. I was nervous because he came with like his mom or somebody. He came with like another woman. I was like, where is Eva
Eva is
Mendes?
home.
They best not be on the rocks because that is my.
She home with the kids. She tweeted.
I want to watch
she said,
them.
all right, good job, boo. She literally said, good job, baby. Now come on.
Now
we
come
got home.
to yeah. She said, I put the kids to bed. She was like, wink, wink. And I was like, I know that's motherfucking
I love it.
Right.
I love that Ryan, everybody was talking about his appearance.
Saying what?
It did look like he had fillers, but if he wants fillers, that's fine. But he was also dressed up like Ken. So I'm like, maybe it's just the makeup from the Ken makeup. But he performed I'm Just Ken. And he did it in the most charming Ryan Gosling way. But did you see that it was an ode to Marilyn Monroe?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
no,
man. Really?
It's okay if I didn't see it, Antoinette. It's
I want
okay.
you to see it.
Some people have not seen it either, but we're going to go watch it now.
Google Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend.
Sorry for tapping on my computer, everyone.
Stop it. From Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. Now do you see, everybody Googled that. Do you see what he did there? He wore his, like the whole thing is based off of Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend. And I just love that little nod. Brilliant. Who came up with that? But he sounded great. He was fun. And I actually think that the awards, I watched a lot of clips. I even watched Jimmy Kimmel.
Kimmel.
Tricky. Jimmy Kimmel. And he had such a great dig with Trump. Did you see that?
I did see that.
Oh God. I thought that this was like one of the better award shows. I thought they did a really good job.
Oh, good.
I really did. I was like, okay. And I watched a lot of clips. I don't know if it was corny, but they were into it. They were into this. I do, however, have it was interesting when that white man came out half naked with that little card over his body. Yeah. And I was like, and y'all went crazy for Janet and her little nipple. And look at this motherfucker on stage, butt ass naked. It's just so interesting what is acceptable and what's not. The white man, the black woman, like he was literally up there basically ass naked. And they're like, children are watching this. I didn't hear that once. Did you hear that at all?
John Cena. Who is he? He's a football player? I mean, a wrestler?
He's like I think he was an actor or a wrestler and he's an actor now. Cena. Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting
pro wrestler.
Comparison there.
But like, it's the same thing, no? I see his nipples and I see his little V thing. Like you see it. I'm Googling it. Everybody Google it right now. Like, I'm looking at it.
That thing,
I understand why that's okay. But all right, moving right along. Go ahead. You have looks and things.
I like to look at the fashions. I feel like Kim Kardashian. I like Kim Kardashian.
It's the best she looked ever.
Yes, I rarely am like wowed by her, but for whatever reason, that she had a Balenciaga dress on, and this
that was at the Oscar party. The
silhouette of like this thing. Everybody's doing it. Some people had it way too high. She nailed it.
Can you say what it is though? Because people can't see you. Or
it has like I can't describe it. It looks like a fin that like pokes out of a dress at this angle. Like for her, it was from her breast, one breast to another. It was like a fin poking out.
Triangle. Yeah.
Triangle. And a lot of people I've noticed have been trying to do this look.
This very like
she looked the best. She looked
geometric. Is that how you say it?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
She looked so good. She looked great. Her
she also
hair
looked
great.
Real.
I would never say that.
I think
I'm sorry. She looked good.
Real.
She looked good.
For real? I thought we could see like her age a little bit.
Really?
I thought, but maybe not.
I didn't see that. Zendaya always looks good. She's looking so thin these days to me, like so thin. But she looks.
Not allowed
she
to
always
comment on
like
people's weight, apparently, Shanti.
Oh well, I did.
No.
I already did it. It's done. I won't do it again. She has been She looked great. She always looks like Hollywood now. Lupita.
Wait, real fast before you move on. That Dune run she's been on, Zendaya, and that, the movie that she's been promoting, Dune 2.
Killing it, being all out there.
Every these looks that she's wearing, oh my
She's
god,
giving.
chef's
It's doing it.
kiss.
She's
And
killing
even the way the designs are so interesting, so futuristic. Oh,
Yeah,
it's like
it's interesting.
out of a dream. Anyway, go ahead. Why are you hating on now? Which dress are you hating on Lupita? Because she went to the show and she went to the Vanity Fair.
Lupita's dresses are always fabulous, as my godmom would say. She don't say fabulous, she says fabulous. Her hair made me want to when she, I don't know, not when she had the crown, because that was cool. I was like, good, go ahead, Lupita, do a little crown.
The braid
Whatever
crown?
The crown she had was great. That first hairstyle with the blue dress, I screamed when I saw that.
Black. I'm sorry.
I don't care. No, it's not because she has her. I don't know why you saying that. It's not because she has her natural hair. It's the styling or lack thereof of her hair that makes me so upset.
You hate. You know what it is? I know it. You hate random shit in natural hair. That's why Issa Rae makes you mad. You're like, why did you do these puffs like this? Because I'm looking at it now. I just pulled it up. It's off center. I get it. It's not
symmetrical.
It's not symmetrical.
It's not a style. I don't understand it.
It was her
and
style.
It's not avant. Just because something is asymmetrical and avant-garde doesn't make it acceptable or like looks great. It didn't look good. And just because it, isn't.
I'm not mad at it.
You bugging, dog. I don't hate
yelping. That.
You
why?
Tripping. You
I don't know why I don't hate it. Why don't I hate it?
Jodie Smith, though, who her Lupita's dating that other guy, Jodie Smith's ex now. That goddess, my fucking mouth fell to the floor. I said, God damn, she looked so good. Like, whew. That's all I got to say. Blue, just looking fantastic. I don't know this guy, but I like him. I love him. I love his way of being. Cillian Murphy. I see his.
Tell me why.
Because I like the shady looks that he has. I like the vacant, disinterested stare that he gives very often.
It's very vacant.
He's very pretty too. Like there's something very like.
Really?
I think I like the way he looks. I wouldn't say I'm attracted to him, but I think he's very attractive and has a very interesting face. And he won. Shout out to him. I think he always looks good. And I need to actually see him in a movie so that I can
see him in Oppenheimer. What he won for.
I haven't watched any. I've seen nothing that he's in, but I will. But I just be watching his interviews and I'm always like, oh, what is going through this person's mind? What a character. What a face. But shout out to him.
Interesting. I wasn't paying that much attention to the fashion. Sorry, y'all. I think it was interesting. A lot of people were commenting on the buttons that everybody was wearing. And they were supposed to signify that they wanted a Gaza ceasefire. Folks were like, that's corny. But I don't know. With that said, shout out to Jonathan Glazer, who accepted the Oscar for Best International Film, who got up there as a Jewish man and condemned the shit out of the atrocities in Gaza. He's catching a lot of heat. Megan McCain is one of them who, this bitch, she got on Twitter and was reposting his speech all cut up, and out of context, and saying that he is, spewing Islamophobia. Excuse me, is spewing not Islamophobia, anti-Semitism and yada yada yada. So he was brave for that because
in Hollywood too. Shout out
Hollywood.
To him.
I think it's really powerful that he is Jewish himself doing it as well. I think that's a really powerful thing. But shout out to him. Shout out to the Oscars. Shout out to the cream of the crop fancy folks. Also, shout out to Jonathan Batiste and his wife Suleika. They went, and she's looking good. She's dealing with her second bout of cancer. She looks great, and her dress was designed by Angelina Jolie, and it was a beautiful drawing on the back of her gown of Jonathan like conducting all of these musicians at his big Carnegie Hall gig.
Who would have known?
So it was very cool. I love that Angelina Jolie just be in the background doing shit she
be doing her thug thizzle.
Yeah. All right. Last but not least, go ahead.
My girl, I've been thinking about her and wondering when, she's going to come back on the scene, and she is back. Regina King is back. She has a coming movie, Shirley, which is about Shirley Chisholm. And I think she may have produced it. I'm not sure what her role is, but she's definitely behind the scenes. Not only she's the actress, but she's definitely behind the scenes in the production of it. And so I think it's coming out the end of this month. And so she offered her first interview with Robin Roberts on ABC. And I think her intention was like, yo, I'm going to talk about this one time only. And everything else is going to be connected to this movie, which she did dedicate to her son that has passed, Ian. And she's talking about the movie and his death and her life since his suicide 2 years ago. And the grace and the strength and the deep, deep love and like where she is in her grieving process was just so beautiful to watch. I cried while watching her interview. But she's just talking about, describing grief is love with no place to go. And she speaks about Ian in the present because she says he's always with her. And she talks about the guilt and her trying to accept it. And of course, she says like, yes, I'm sharing the grief with a lot of people that loved Ian, but like I'm his mom. Nobody's his mom. And like the sense of responsibility and the guilt that she's carrying, like what could she have done better, she expressed. But I think most beautifully, talking about holding two things at once, she spoke about respecting and understanding his decision to take his own life. He was so tired and they tried everything and he didn't want to be here anymore, and how much that pains her and how angry she was that he was, not that he did it, but that he had to experience that much pain that he wanted to not be here anymore. But I have yet to publicly, especially somebody that is famous, talk about the respect that she has for his decision. And it kind of put me down a rabbit hole.
Wait, you've yet to publicly, what do you mean?
I've never heard anyone, like I've never heard anyone that has been in relationship with folks that have committed suicide and said like, yo, I understand and I respect the decision that person made, especially a mother saying that. I think the easy thing, I thought for myself, like, how would I react? I would be so angry. I'd be so guilty. I would be so like, there'd be so many unanswered. It would be so open-ended for me, like, yeah, for her to be like, no, I get it. I feel like it's just another level of love that she's being asked to experience in relationship with him and to offer him, which it brought me to tears. I just was like, wow. But it also is connected to the Right to Die movement, which is a movement based on the opinion that human beings are entitled to end their life or undergo voluntary euthanasia, which is a medical procedure of ending your life. And folks can make this decision whether they have a terminal illness, incurable pain, or they just do not have the will to continue living. And there's a big movement around this. I'm not sure where, but I think there's somewhere in Europe where it's very big, if not even like legally some type of like boundaries around it. But yeah, it was just, again, just so want to offer so much love to Regina and how brave she has to be and how difficult this has to be, not only to lose your son, but then have to speak about it publicly. And she just did it with so much grace. Robin did a beautiful job in interviewing her. But also this whole right to die movement really had me thinking, and what your thoughts were on it, and this idea of understanding and respecting people's decision, and what kind of process should be laid out, or could be, what kind of possibilities for people like, I don't want to do this anymore, for the terminally ill and those that are just like, I can't, I don't want to do this anymore.
I don't know. I think it's interesting because when we have an animal or a pet and they're in pain or they're near the end of their life or whatever, it's like some sort of chronic illness that's like debilitating. They will put them to sleep, right? They're put down. I don't know. There's so many variables here. I think about children, who makes a decision for them. If this were to be something that was passed into law, like this death with dignity, I've heard that used as well. I truly have no idea, because I am somebody who's had very down moments, and I would hate to have made some sort of decision in those moments before, I was able to get myself out of them. So I don't know. I think like I immediately go to, what are the parameters? Do you have to do a certain amount of therapy first? Do you have to be of a certain age?
Yeah.
What are all the things, the steps you have to take before,
Something to look into more, because again, I think there are, and there may be in some place in Europe, it's actually
in law.
They're outlaw, and I think it's more leaning towards the terminal illness, incurable pain folks experience versus the I don't want to be here anymore.
The will.
The will to continue living,
because that can fluctuate. Will can fluctuate.
Yeah. I think having this conversation outside of the framework of morality is really hard, but I think that's also kind of like how it needs to be looked at as well, because I think so much religion is attached to this idea of right and wrong as well. And I don't know if we collectively are able to even begin that conversation, but it was deep. It was really deep, and
I have to watch it.
You have to watch it. It's only 20 minutes long, but what a beautiful woman. And I'm excited I actually saw the advertisement in New York for the new Shirley Chisholm movie that's coming out. So when I know a little bit more about that, maybe I'll share it for the hot shit as well. But I
think it's coming out on Netflix.
Regina. It's on Netflix?
I mean, that's easily something we can Google right now. Hold on. March 5th. Yeah. Release date March 15th, tomorrow. Streaming on Netflix.
Oh, easy. Netflix. Okay, dope. Okay. Well, it'll be out by the time this comes.
So wait. Theatrical release March 15th, before its streaming debut on Netflix March 22nd.
Okay.
So by the time this comes out next week, it'll still be available.
Run on how theaters show up now, the use of theaters.
Right.
All right. Well,
All right,
that's all I
everybody.
have.
Very good.
Very
Very good. Thank you. Lots in this episode. I don't know what we're calling it. Shaun, Kaseem, King was funny.
Shaun took his
But-
shahada. Damn.
I don't know. We'll figure it out. Thank you all, and to all a good night.
Peace to the gods.
Old and the new.